So you've got a particle system going, it's using the default blend shader, you want to switch it over to the Arnold Standard Surface Shader. How do you go about doing that? Here's my particle system here is my current render. Alright, let's have a look, let's stop that, and let's go across to the Nparticle, click it, open up our hypershade, and let's try and graph it. So we'll just go graph like that. So that should graph that whole thing. Whoops. Oh my god. Alright. There we go. So this looks a little bit confusing, but let's just do a couple of things. Let's let me just select a whole lot of it and just get them smaller. And then what will I do? Just tidy this graph up a little bit. Now we don't need the Lambert, so I'm just going to remove that from this. What we need is actually this. We need this, the balls volume, and actually really importantly, we need this section here, which is the bit that's driving the shading engine. We actually don't need this, so I'll just remove it for now. And all of this stuff as well. We just don't really need it. Let's just get rid of that. And really what we want to do here is just rebuild this graph with an AI Standard Surface Shader. So to do that, I'm going to go Tab, AI Standard Surface, and I'm going to just hide that, we don't need to see it. We're going to remap this to here. So let's open this thing out. So let's take the out color of this and put it into the surface shader. There we go. Now let's expand this particle sampler info, and I'm just going to zoom up here so we don't make any mistakes. It's easy to make mistakes. Move this up. And what we want to do is we want to take the out color to the base color of the standard surface shader, like so. And we want to take the out transparency to the opacity of the standard surface shader. And with any luck, if we've done that correctly, we should now have regraphed the network. And if I press play on this, hopefully they won't disappear. They disappeared. So the fix for that, if they disappear on you like that, there's one other little extra step. I'll just get rid of, let me regraph this, tidy this up. Oops, there we go, that's better. Alright, so that's what we've got. Oh dear, that's what we've got right now. Let me move this over. We can see that in the viewport we've still got our particles. We can see in our render that we're missing particles. We go to the Nparticle and scroll down for the Arnold tab and untick opaque, and our particles return. But now they're returned and they're driven by the Arnold Standard Surface Shader. So if I press stop on here, please behave yourself, my machine. If I press stop on here and let's bring up the standard surface tab, if I can find it. There it is there. We can now change, for instance, let me just press play here. I can change the metalness of these objects. I can change the specularity of these objects. So that's all good. That's great. I'm going to stop the video, I think, in a second, but I just want to show you one thing. If I take the, let me move this over here, press stop on the render, and go to my Nparticle, just go to my Nparticle, there we are, hold on, just need to come up here, oh, Nparticle shape, and in the shading section, where I even have opacity here. Let's have a look at our opacity I take these down, you can see in my viewport I am getting a reduction in opacity with the Arnold Standard Surface Shader. I press play here and I'm getting a reduction in opacity here too. That's great. Alrighty, so that is all working. Let me just see if the ramp will work. I'll just pull this down here. That does seem to be working, and pull it up to about halfway, make it go over age. That looks pretty good to me, in fact. That looks pretty good. So that is the Arnold Standard Surface Shader working on the built-in particles in the Nparticles. Alright, I'm going to stop right there.